Hi, it's Kathy Chenna with Tri-Cities Community TV, and today we're going to talk about some developments in Port Moody, but specifically the development at 3000 Henry Street. With me today, we have the managing partners, Amin and Naveed, and if both of you can just introduce yourselves formally, that would be great.
My name is Amin Eskuch. I'm a managing partner at Ultras. I'm here with my partner.
And I'm Naveed Moravej, and again, thank you for having us here, Kathy, with the rest of the crew.
Of course, fantastic. So I'm just going to jump right in. I'd like to know a little bit of the history of the site at 3000 Henry. So can you speak to that, I mean, for me?
Of course, yes. Yeah. So the site's been in planning phases since 2006. So it's been quite some time since the original conceptual building was proposed. Since then, it's gone through several iterations, design phases, and it's improved quite a bit. So we've been in the making. It's been in the making for the past 14 years, if you will.
Really?
And through the years, it's gone better and better and better, and now we are the culmination of all the efforts. And we're happy to propose a building that we think is quite comprehensive in terms of what it offers to the community.
So even before that, when you chose to purchase this land, why did you choose Port Moody?
Oh, well, Port Moody is my hometown. Like, I grew up here. I started up my first business in the basement in Port Moody, and I really understand, this is a different city than the rest of Vancouver or Metro Vancouver. I would say you get a sense of community. This is the place that you still can get in the elevator and somebody says hi to you rather than just looking down on their cell phone. Aside from that, when we came across from this property, we were just a few blocks away from a SkyTrain, and we had a huge backyard, and the lot size is a large lot, it's 4.5 acres almost, and there's a lot of green space. So we figured out we can be very creative in how to use that nature and how to bring a very unique project and a landmark to Port Moody, and that just couldn't leave our mind, and we had to work on this project. And
great, fantastic. How would you say that this project differs? There's a lot of contentious issues that are happening in Port Moody around development. Some get the stamp of approval, some don't. What makes this project so different and unique? I mean, can you answer that for me?
Yeah, there are a variety of elements that make it unique. Part of the reason why we were attracted to this project to begin with, I remember we came into this project later in the cycle, so we came into this thing around 2017. And at that point, there was existing architectural drawings on it. So part of the attraction or the allure of the project was the architectural beauty of the site. It's not your normal site. It's not a normal building. It's quite challenging in terms of its design, but at the same time, that's what makes it unique. And part of our sort of philosophy at All Trust is to be part of something unique and innovative. Aside from the architectural aspect of it, there are a lot of environmental benefits that the project provides, and as well as social and community benefits that we've managed to incorporate. All of that together, I think, makes for a very unique proposition, and we're happy to be a part of it.
Great. And so the site as a whole, Naveed, what is the expectation, the proposal, and then I'll get you to talk to me a little bit about where we're at with City Council. So if they stamped it tomorrow, your plan is to build what?
So we're building 173 units. It's a 11-story mid-rise, but we go up the hillside. So at any given time, compared to the elevation of the ground, we're only 3 to 6 stories.
Right.
And so it creates a lot of patio space, a lot of outdoor space. And basically, we're bringing a diversity of units to the community. When we started working on this project, we wanted to bring a project to the community that addresses everybody in the community. So we have from small units that the new home buyers can jump into to downsizers, seniors, empty home nesters. So we really created a project that works for the community in all aspects.
Did you want to add to that?
No, just to complement what Naveed was saying, is the architectural shape of the building, the fact that it's a U-shaped building and it terraces back, it provides an opportunity for a variety of different floor plans. Whereas you would have maybe in a typical high-rise, you would have floor plans that basically lay on top of each other and all look the same. Because of the shape of the building, there is a multitude of different floor plans, which means there's the diversity of unit mix that could cater to a variety of different individuals and housing needs in the community. So we think that's additional feature that makes it really unique.
So you're looking at a mixed blend of different people that would be buying there, from young families, single people, seniors, and the whole gamut of people. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We have townhouses, small one bedroom, then 2 bedroom, even 3 bedroom, and then we have this concept of a lock-off, which really is unique again, and it's one of a kind, I believe, at first in Port Moody.
So just with regards to, I'm very well connected in the community, and I follow a lot of the social media and what's going on out there, and like to sort of read up on what people are talking about. So how do you deal with things when someone is talking about parking and congestion in the city? Like, oh, do we really need another building, and what's that going to look like for us? We're already congested. Even never mind COVID. Pre-COVID, it's a bottleneck. I live at the corner of Elgin and St. John's, and so when people are coming out in the community and saying, "What are you doing about your parking and the congestion that's going to have?" How do you answer that?
So traffic, it's all about balance, Kathy. What we're bringing to the community is, as far as the density goes, is a relatively modest amount of density added to such a large site. We're only looking at a 1.0 FAR. And we're only using about 20% of the site. Yeah.
The city has a maximum, but you're under that maximum. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, so the typical project, so FAR stands for floor area ratio. So
Okay.
it's the ratio of how much housing you're putting relative to the size of the land.
Yes.
And typically when you do rezoning, these are well in excess of 2, or close to 2, if you will. In our case, it's less than 1. If you consider that we're actually giving away about half of the site to the city to incorporate as park space, that maybe come up to about 1.8. So back to your question about traffic, we do need to balance the needs of the community as far as housing goes against all of these other factors. Yes, traffic is an issue. It's a regional issue, though. It's not unique to Port Moody, perhaps. But there are mitigation strategies that you could put in place, and we've done a lot of those. So there's a lot of studies that have gone into this. City has been instrumental in guiding us through that process. There is car sharing that we've incorporated to allow residents to commute back and forth between the building and Moody's Center, as well as electric charging stations. So the car sharing allows families who otherwise might have 2 cars to be able to have only 1. So that's really helpful. We've looked at, even before the pandemic, we're kind of proud to say we've been a bit ahead of the curve by incorporating shared workspaces to promote people staying and living in the building, and then as opposed to having to travel back and forth. So that discourages the use of cars. So a lot of those kind of strategies have put in place. There's a lot of thought that's gone into the design to try and address some of those issues. And again, it's a balancing act. There is need for housing in our community, and we just need to know that we're not going above and beyond what's the norm. In fact, we're quite substantially below the norm,
Okay.
while also providing some housing options for our residents.
Fantastic. Another thing that I've been hearing in the community, some people have been talking about the environmental impact that this is going to have on Port Moody. So just open that up. You touched on it a little bit with the park space, but there's always going to be naysayers in our city. People are not going to like what we're doing. It doesn't matter if it's the most perfect thing out there or not, but the environment's important. The ecological system's important. Are there any threats on this site so that, when people are asking the question, we can go back to them and say, these are all the factors that we've taken into place? Like, how would you handle those kinds of questions from people in the community?
I could say, we are the millennials, we are the next generation
Yes,
ourselves.
yes.
So it's a big part of our consideration when we want to do a project like this. We can't ignore the fact that when you're doing a development, things not going to happen. Like, yes, the traffic is going to be added, the density or something's changing the community. So as Amin said, is how we address it to to bring the best project with the least amount of impact. And the creative way of the architecture design with only occupying 20% of the total land, it was our first draw. And then when we went back, to the drawing boards and trying to make the project better, we reduced the excavation, and we reduced basically the foundation of the project. So we constantly worked on how we can improve the project in many different levels to have the least impact on the environment. And on the other side, we worked on rain harvesting, like trying having a green property in all the essence. And we always looking to the ways that create that additional sustainability levels to this development. And I think Amin can add on to this. He's on the technical side a lot more than me, so he can add on to this.
So part of our philosophy as a company, if you look on our website, is about sustainability. And again, to Navi's point, it's driven from our perhaps generational value system, having been brought up as a millennial. So things like rain harvesting, green extended balconies, having access to outdoor amenities. This building is going to be a LEED Silver equivalent, which at the time where we proposed it initially was one of a kind. It was state of the art. We're going to look at our greenhouse emissions have been reviewed and looked by third-party consultants, and we are going to meet step 2 tier system code, building code, which is part of the requirement in the city of Port Moody. In addition, part of the environmental sustainability is about understanding forests and living in harmony with the surrounding. That's why we're giving away almost 2 acres from the site to be dedicated as park space and be permanently protected by the city. When we proposed this thing back in February of 2019, the streamside protection bylaws of the city had been updated. And even though our application predated the update, we went back to the drawing board and we made sure that the building is compliant with the new bylaws. So we're in full compliance now with the new streamside protection bylaws. Part of the dedication of land we're doing is environmentally sensitive. So again, we're giving that back to the city to help protect it. As well, when we did the redesign, we've considerably reduced the footprint of the building. So as I mentioned before, only 20% of this 4.04 acre site is being used as a building, and the rest is going to be staying in its current state.
So then I guess my next question is, what's the stall? What's the challenge? What has COVID done that has halted everything in terms of things moving forward? I know that there's a process. Talk to me about what's happening at the end of the month on the last Tuesday. You're having a public hearing, and just walk me through the process of how you got there, and what would that mean to you, that public hearing? How is it important for that public hearing to go well? Why is it important?
Well, the public hearing is an opportunity for, obviously, the public to also voice their opinion. In our case, we've taken the lead on that, and we've engaged with the community early on over the course of the past 9 to 8 months quite diligently. And we've heard from the community. That's why we've incorporated the rent-to-own program, for example. The third reading is critical step in the permitting process to allow us to go forward. That's essentially where we get the okay to go ahead with our detailed design, which will be the next step, which is the development permit application. So it's a critically important step, and that's the step that we look forward at the end of the month to hear back from community, and also to get the go-ahead from council.
Okay, that's great. You touched on a little there, the rent-to-own program. When I learned about your project, it was something exciting for me because I have younger children, and would love to get my 26-year-old daughter into the market. I learned about rent-to-own back in the day, where you could go rent-to-own your electronics and buy a TV every month, and hopefully by the end of all of that, it would be yours. It's a little different in housing, but the concept is similar. But with that said, though, is it really realistic for a young couple to have a rent, not average, but an affordable type of rent? What does a rent look like on a place like that's 2 bedrooms?
Well, the rents, depending on which units you pick, are actually going to be defined ahead of time. So it'll be part of the zoning application that
Yeah.
you submitted. So I don't have the numbers in front of me, but they're very well in line with the market rents.
They're with
So if
the
you were-
market, yeah, okay.
They're exactly what the market would be.
Because I guess like it's one thing to sort of say, like the entire monthly rental will go towards, fully to the down payment. But it's another thing to say, well, I can't afford the rent every month, so therefore I can't live there.
Right,
So, yeah,
So imagine this, if you're going to live in Port Moody and you're looking for a one-bedroom or two-bedroom, you will be paying the same amount in this program.
right. So you're
as
saying
you
that
would
they're in
otherwise.
line, they're in line.
They're-
You're not going to be like, oh, it's 3,000,
No,
but
so
normally.
there's not going to be a premium for this. put it
Right,
this way,
okay,
right?
okay,
So
that's,
it'll be
that's,
just right
that's
in
a
line.
good,
Again,
that's good
so
to know.
The idea, Kathy, is to really help provide a path to ownership. And we've tried to do that by making sure that this is an attainable and affordable path to ownership. So, doing something like that with premium is not going to help anybody.
What percentage would be rent to own in this project if it goes through?
Current proposal is 10%.
10% of the 173, so 17 units
17.
would be rent to own. And will you be giving the first sort of priority, if you're doing a lottery of some sort, to Port Moody residents?
The whole program is
Based around
based on, basically what had happened is we did grassroots discovery on this. We literally start walking to business. I was with Amin, we walk into the one a small business, and then the owner, we ask him like, what do you want to see? Like, we're developing about 2 blocks away from here. And she said that, what, like I want to end up owning, like I'm renting right now. I'm paying $2,500 a month for
Yeah.
rent. And I have a kid, is 15. I want to own a property, leave something behind for her. And and I'm like, what do you think of rent to own? And she asked, furthermore, and she was literally in tears at the end of it. She's like, oh my God, this is such an amazing thing. I can afford my rent, but I can't afford saving up for the down
That's right,
payment.
that's what
So-
our biggest issue is, for sure, absolutely. I'm going to switch gears to you, Naveed, a little more. We're going to talk about community engagement, because I know it means a lot to you. I have to say, nobody knew who you guys were even a year ago, because you kind of swooshed right in, and I'm thinking, who are these people? What are they doing? And tell us about the extensive work and who you've been working with in the community to collaborate with and to build bonds with. Because you're sort of dabbling in a lot of different, I don't want to mention them because I don't want to steal your thunder, but you go ahead and tell me.
Yeah, I believe in like a tagline that my dad had the longest time, that it's we make our living with what we make, but we make life with what we give. So based on his history and the way that it was, I always been involved in some sort of charitable work and so on, and I figured out the best people to understand the needs of the community to go to is the people that they're doing community work. So I got involved with Rotary clubs and other charity foundations, the Port Moody Community Foundations, reached out to them, and we got consulted from them. And we're like, what does your community need? What do we need to do here? It's been a few years that I haven't lived in Port Moody, so
Yeah,
I had to catch
of course,
up. Basically based on that's we started building a relationship. We started realizing what are the things that matters here, what are the things that we need to incorporate in our project, how to get associations with the right community to understand and develop something that actually means a lot. We've been, I've been involved with Rotary Club of Vancouver, the Firefighters Association, of Port Moody Art Associations, and we try to basically, like even rowing club, like anything that we could come across, and trying to embed a little bit of what they stand for, and all these volunteers that they run the community and they work for the community, how we bring them a little bit to the project. And that just, we just thought going that avenue just enriches the project, and it becomes a meaningful project for us and the community.
That's
actually.
great, good. Now, if everything moves forward at the next city council meeting, and you get the third reading, and you get the majority vote, and the public hearing, the majority of the people will have positive things to say, we hope. What are the next steps?
So as Amin said, we'll focus on detailed design, which means like, what the layout of the units are, what are the materials that goes on the kitchen cabinets or on the exterior of the building.
So it'll be like full steam ahead then? You just
Yeah.
need that third reading and you can move forward with this project?
Absolutely. So roll up the sleeves, and in fact, we already have lined up consultants to get going right away
Right.
as of August.
What is the list, or if you want to call it that, of people that, you can go onto your website, you can fill out your email and information, and, I know that there's no showroom or anything like that, everything's very premature, but like, what kind of list of people that are asking for affordable housing and wanting to buy, and even the rent-to-own program, like, have you seen that sort of rise as soon as you sort of launched that site? Has that been on the upscale for you?
Yeah, it's been insane. Today, we have about 7,000 visitors to our website. Majority comes searching for rent to own.
Yeah.
And in Metro Vancouver. And that's very, mind-blowing for us. Last night I was talking to him, that we have to change our server that we're hosting because it can't handle the traffic. That's something we didn't foresee.
It's not a bad problem to have, right?
That's exactly what I said.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's something we didn't foreseen for a development side of project. It's one thing you go to pre-sale and you want to grab traffic, but for where we stand, and we just want to provide some education, people finding about a project and talking about it, which we see a real value here that, there's a lot of that, the outreach I think we did for providing information out there with a load of videos and content that we provided, it really helped educating the community, and we got great feedbacks.
And just to add to that, the amount of attention it's getting is a testament to how valuable it is for the community. It's other than just the outreach that we've done beyond Port Moody, there's been surveys and focus groups that we've conducted within the city. Our Port Moody residents, 100 people participate in the survey, overwhelming support for this program. And part of our sort of reason for the outreach is not just this project, is to also send a message to other community groups, to other municipalities, and to other developers, frankly, because there's tremendous value in this. And it goes without saying that, there's a lot of support for it, especially in this area. So, hopefully people will pick up the flag, and this thing will start to be more prevalent across the whole Lower Mainland.
Exactly. And lastly, before we close, what do you want our viewers to know? What's sort of the last thing? How can they contact you? How can they reach out? How can they go to the site and sort of explore what you have to offer? Do you want to just share that information with us?
Sure, maybe I'll take this, and then Navid, you can have your own take.
Sure.
So our motto is building communities, helping shape communities, and just to kind of reiterate some of the comments that Navid's already made, is we really believe that by being in the community, it has to be grassroots and genuine. We're not, hopefully we're hoping to, after this project, continue on with other projects within the same community. There's a lot of investments we've made in this community. We want to continue to be part of it and be a fabric of the community in the years to come. So for people, that's why we're doing all this sort of public outreach and kind of help people understand and be educated about. We're not going to run away. We are here. We want to see this project through to the end, and we're hoping to be providing some value here. For people who have interest in the project, please visit our website. It's at 3000henry.com. And there's links to videos and forums, and we're happy to hear from you.
Yeah, it's very well done. Let's hope we don't have to wait another 14 years. What about you, Navid? What would you like to end with?
No, the same thing to Amin said. We're very reachable ourselves too. I think I spend about 4 or 5 hours a day almost on the phone talking with the local people in the community, that they reach out. They have questions about rent to own. They have questions about amenities within the project, how the outdoor is getting used, the trails and everything that we're doing, and we're there for the community truly, and we'll answer the emails, we answer the calls, and just be sure that people understand that we're here for them, and we're doing this thing all together.
Well, that's fantastic. I really appreciate both of you coming in today and taking the time out. And you can see that we are social distancing. I've got my disinfectant here. I have a mask with me. My name is Kathy Chen. I'm with Tri-Cities Community TV. You heard it here. If you want any more information on a rent-to-own program, an ownership program in the Tri-Cities, right here in the heart of Port Moody, the City of the Arts, check them out at www.3000henry.com. Thanks so much for watching.